Your project manager or someone is not happy with the car ECP, you want to use something else. What should I do? What should I do? So we have to give instructions for auto configuration now, boss. Now listen. There are four data sources in Spring Boot 2.x and 3.x as part of auto configuration algorithm. What algorithm? As part of auto configuration algorithm. Total how many are there? Four data sources are there. How many are there? Four. Number one, Ikari CP. Number two, Apache DBCP2. Number three, Tomcat CP. Number four, Aracle UCP. What is there? If you don't keep Ikari CP jars and next data source jar file, it automatically picks what? That data source. If you don't keep Ikari CP, Apache DBCP jars and Tomcat CP jars, if you keep, it will automatically pick that one. So it's all about keeping the jars available. But I have not kept Ikari CP jar separately, sir. That's your good part. By default, as a relevant jar file, you will get Ikari CP jar file. Right? Okay, now let me launch Eclipse IDE. Here is what? Paint. File open. Yesterday night, I stuck it up in traffic for 2.5 hours. It was a horrible day. From High Tech City to Amirpet, it has taken me 2.5 hours, and in that I forced to cancel evening 7 p.m. batch. It was horrible journey. Okay. Yeah, 719. I started in High Tech City at 5:30. In okay, 1.5 hour. I actually it's showing 45 minutes. Fine, I kept another 45 minutes in buffer to reach 7 p.m. class. But by the time I come, it has touched 8:30, 8:45. It's horrible. Mm. Slowly, Hyderabad is becoming Bangalore, at least on rainy days. Mm. Yeah, let it be, guys. Now, tell me. Session 14 profile, Spring Boot applications, introduction, YML, more on data source, auto configuration. I think session, how much? Not 13. 13 we discussed later. YML files we'll discuss later. More on data source, auto configuration. Yeah. Popular data sources are Hikari CP, Apache DBCP. CP means connection pool. CP means connection pool. C3P0, Tomcat CP, Proxul CP, Brown CP, Aracle UCP. All these are standalone JDBC connection pools. Standalone. That means they are not server managed, guys. Though word Tomcat CP is there, it is no way related to Tomcat server. Tomcat CP can be used inside the server and as a standalone connection pool also. That's good. Yeah. Spring Boot 2.x, 3.x uses following algorithm while creating data source object through auto configuration process. When relevant starters or jar files are added, either Spring Boot starter JDBC or Spring Boot starter JPA. First Hikari CP, next Tomcat CP, order chain. Okay, Apache DBCP2, Aracle UCP. You observe Tomcat CP. If Hikari CP jar file is not available. Apache DB CP2. If Ikari CP, Tomcat CP jars are not available. Oracle UCP, if Hikari CP, Tomcat CP, Apache DB CP2 jar files are not available. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on. Okay, that's good. Okay. But now the challenge is 719, launch it. Yeah. The problem is we are not adding Ikari CP jar separately. Yes. We are adding what? Spring Boot Starter JDBC that has given us Hikari CP. Right, boss? That has given us Hikari CP. How to remove the jar which we have not added? It is coming as what? Relevant jar file, not as main jar file. In pom.xml, is there any information about that, guys? You take any project, okay, you take Oracle MySQL one, whatever it is, Factory Bean one, whatever it is, guys, okay. In pom.xml, is there any information about Hikari CP, guys? No. We added one starter, Spring Boot Starter JDBC, as a relevant or dependent jar file. That jar has come. Check it out. Any lines about Hikari CP here? Any lines about Hikari CP here, guys? Do you have any lines about Hikari CP here, guys? Are we putting any lines about Hikari CP over here? Say something, my dear. I want reply, guys. Are we putting any lines about Hikari CP over here, guys? No, not at all, right? Are you putting any lines about Hikari CP over here, guys? No, not. That's good. Fine. See, whenever you edit pom.xml, you will get red mark. Okay. I don't know why it is working. I don't know, but you have to just remove yes. I can say it's a bug from ID. Logicless solution. Okay, now red mark gone now, guys. Don't ask me why it is. You just edit it, open it and do some editing. You don't do any editing also. If you just open it, it will say red mark and you can remove red mark by removing the S in HTTPS. Fine. Okay, that's good. Fine, guys. Next one. Employee operations controller. No, yeah, fine. I'll go to both DAOs, guys, and I'll try to display data source object class name. Yeah, I'm printing data source object class name. In MySQL DAO, I have kept that line. I think in Oracle DAO also I have kept that line. Okay, fine, that's good. So that we can understand which data source is working. Now the question is, look at Maven dependency section. Here something called Hikari CP is there. Come on. But am I adding any jar related to that? I added one starter because of starter as a dependent or relevant jar. We got Hikari CP jar, right? We got Hikari CP jar because it is used as what? Relevant or dependent jar file. Is that clear, my dear? Come on, everyone. How to remove the jar which is coming as a relevant or dependent jar without removing the other main jar files and dependent jar files? Those who have attended DevOps batch, please tell me. I want solution from you people. Anyone attended DevApps in this batch? Tell me, guys. I want reply. Yeah. There is a concept called Maven exclude. What is there? Exclude one of the dependent jar, not all the dead jars. Okay, actually, lot of tags you have to write, but IDE simplifies your life. Go to dependency hierarchy. In this one, Spring Boot starter JDBC is the main jar. In this list, Ikari CP is there as one of the dependent or relevant jar. There are not there. Yes. Right click. Here, what is the option we have got? Exclude me when artifact. Say okay. Say okay. Observe this. You need not to do anything. Exclusions tag has come. Which jars you want to exclude from this main jar file? That jar related group ID and artifact ID. That's it. That jar related group ID and what? Artifact ID. That's it. Nothing else. Now you observe Maven dependency section. Earlier we have seen Ikari CP jar. Now no more Ikari CP now, boss. No more Ikari CP. You search H, not coming. Okay, now we have to add Tomcat CP jar file. What jar file? Yeah, that is not coming as a starter, guys. You have to collect from mvnrepository.com website. Go to mvnrepository.com. Here is my, what is there? Tomcat CP search button. Okay, that's good. Tomcat CP search button. Okay, yeah, Tomcat JDBC. Actually CP, but it's you have to take it as Tomcat JDBC. Charging. Okay, fine. Some version here. Select here. Selected means copied. Selected means copied. Now I'm adding it as a dependency. Yeah, no need of version, guys. Based on Spring Boot version, this version is decided dynamically. It is intelligent enough to decide the version, right? It is intelligent enough to decide the version. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now see, guys. Right click, run as Java application. Right now, I don't need output, guys. I just want to know which data source is working. X, Y, clerk. Yeah, check it out. Output is coming. I don't want to see other output, guys. Okay. At the beginning, you observe tomcat.jdbc.pool.data source. This is Tomcat CP related data source class. Coming or not coming? Fine, guys. I don't want this Tomcat CP also. I want to work with what? Apache DBCP2. What should I do? Array, listen. Only for these algorithms, availability of the jars enough. For remaining things, that won't come automatically. I'll try to add other jar which is not part of this algorithm, right? It won't be activated automatically. Okay. Fine. Okay. Now I'm commenting this also. One of the famous interview question in the Maven, guys. I added one jar that is giving me a lot of main and dependent jar files. Okay. So I want to remove one of the dependent jars without removing the main jar file. What should I do? You have to use Maven exclude option. What option? They don't keep surprising face. This is Maven exclude option, right? We already discussed that, right, boss? Maven exclude option. How to do? Tags you need not remember. Okay, some exclusion tags are there. That's it. No one asks syntax. If they ask also, sir, something is there, some exclude tags are there. Mm. And moreover, you can also say in Eclipse ID, there is a provision to generate those tags dynamically. Only you want to listen me even exclude option from your mouth. And if you do 1, 2 times, you will remember those tags also. So don't worry about the syntax. So now what is the one I have to add, guys? Apache DBCP. Okay, not here. I have to type here. Apache DBCP2. Select this. 2.13. Copy this. Save this. Copy this, save this. That's good. Right click. X, Y, Z. Yeah, see guys, Apache DBCP data source related class name has come or not? The Apache DBCP data source related class name has come or not there? Yeah, definitely it has come, guys. No doubt in that. Fine, that's good. Mhm. Yeah, I'm also commenting this, guys. Yeah, let's add something else. What is there? Let's add something else. Okay. What is the one we should add, guys? That is Apache. Hmm. Kill UCP. So when you type suggestions are coming. I typed so many times, that's why it is coming. You also type 2, 3 times, it will be there in the history. Okay. Kill UCP. In Maven repository, correct keywords are very important to get the things. UCP, yeah. Kill Universal Connection Pool, compiled with the JDK 1.8. Okay, fine. Minimum JDK 1 point. Some big number. Fine, we won't bother, guys. Copy this, copied, guys. Save, paste. Save, save. Run as Java application. X, Y, Z. Okay, right now output is not important. What is coming? UCP. Uh, Arikil.ucp.jdbc. Pooled data source IMPL. What IMPL, guys? Pooled data source IMPL. Is coming or not coming? Okay, now the question in mind is, if I keep all the 4 jar file, including Ikari CP, which one will work? Hey, guess it, Ray, what happened? Definitely, if all are there, it won't bother about second, third, fourth are there or not there. It will worry about what? Hikari CP is there or not there. Are you getting my point? But before that, what I want to do is, I try to add that jar which is not part of the algorithm. There's something called C3P0. All this, I'm not scolding anyone. These are just connection pool names. C3P0, Proxul, Brown CP, Apache DBCP. These are various data sources that are there in the market. Industry standard, the best is Ikari CP because of its performance. It will create connection object fastly. It will grow fastly. It will decrease its connection object fastly. Okay, if someone asks what is the connection pool you have used in your project means, always say Ikari CP only. But why are you teaching all these things? And for knowledge sake, to tell that I can also work with other connection pools. Okay, let it be. That's not a big issue now. I'll try to add that jar, which is not part of the algorithm. I go to the top. I have not closed it. How come it got closed? mvnrepository.com C3P0 search C3P0. Yeah, it's so old, but still 0 point something only will be there. I don't know because that's their style of versioning. Say paste. Okay. See, since it is not part of the algorithm, version is compulsory. If you don't give version, you will get error. Check it out. See, red mark has come now. But still remaining all are part of version based on the Spring Boot starter parent or project version. These jars versions are decided. This is the one indication this is not part of the algorithm, Spring Boot algorithm, right? Data source algorithm. Okay, but still I try to run the application, guys. Right click, run as Java application. No qualifying bean of type just one. So that means picking up data source automatically is applicable only for those data sources based on the jars available. For remaining things, not. And if those 4 jars are not there, other data source jars also there, waste. So that means only those 4 data sources are part of the algorithm as part of auto configuration program. Convinced, am I dear? Okay. That's why just adding C3P0 is a waste of time or not there. Just adding C3P0 is waste of time. No, sir, I'm interested to work with C3P0. Outside algorithm data source I want to use. Wait a minute, I will tell what to do for that. But my now discussion is I'm trying to keep all the jars, guys. First jar, second jar, third jar. First jar, second jar, third jar, fourth jar. All the jars I kept now, boss? Okay, but Ikari CP jars also I want to make sure that it is there. It is there means I have to comment this exclusion now. Okay, now as Ikari CP jars also comes into picture. When all these things are there, definitely what will be taken, guys? Ikari CP. Let's see. X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z. Here we are going to get Ikari data source or not? Here we are going to get what, guys? Hikari data source or not there, guys? Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay, that's good. Fine. Okay, now my question is, I want to break this algorithm. If first jar is there, first one, second jar is there, second one, third one is there, third, fourth one is there, fourth. No. When jar is available, I should be in a position to use my choice data source. I don't want someone to say if that is not there, this is not there, that. No. I should have a command on that data source that comes through auto configuration. Then you have to instruct the IOC container for auto configuration activity by using application.properties file. How, sir? I want to work with Archil UCP. I kept the jars. all the jars, but I just want to work with Oracle UCP, though all jars are there. Though Ikari CP jar is there, I want to work with what? Oracle UCP. Then you have to give instruction to auto configuration from application.properties file. That is by using spring.dataSource.type. What is there? Spring.dataSource.type. That is the instruction that I have to give now, my dear. Okay, guys, tell me. Activate data source. What is this? Data source dot type. Okay, I'm interested to activate Oracle UCP, though all jars are there. Okay, but you have to type the class name of data source class name of Oracle UCP. But we are lazy fellows. We don't remember class names that much easily. Actually, we got the class name when you run the application. But who will save the class names, guys? And that too, we printed class name. That's why it has come. So in this situation, okay, JBolo to Google or ChatGPT. Okay, very simple. Very simple. Don't take stress. See, guys, Oracle UCP data source class. You ask a precise question, it will give precise answer. That's it. It has come now, boss. You need not to take hard work to copy also. Just to copy symbol is there. Paste it. Yes. Okay, now you run the program. Though you observe, as part of Maven dependencies, you see Ikari CP jar is there. Tomcat CP jar is there. Apache DBCP UCP jar is there. Apache DBCP2 jar is there. And C3P0 jar is there. So many jars are there. But since I am guiding use Oracle UCP, it will work with only Oracle UCP or not there. That means we are getting somewhat control on auto configuration activity or not there. X, Y, Z. Pooled data source IMPL has come or not? Pooled data source IMPL has come or not come, guys? That means it is happily working or not, my dear? Say something, my dear. I want reply, guys. That's greatness. So this is what we need to focus. This is what we need to focus. Oracle.ucp.jdbc. Pool data source IMPL. Yeah. No, sir. I want to work with some such a data source which is outside the algorithm. Okay. The good news is any data source, you add the jar and mention the class name in spring.datasource.type. It will happily activate. You want to see that? 1 minute. Go to ChatGPT in our style. Tell me, guys. C3P0 data source class. C3P0 data source class. Copy the code. C3P0 data source class. Okay, that's good. Yeah, where is this? Here is this. Copy this. What is there? Paste it. C3P0 data source class. Oracle.ucp.jdbc.pooled data source IM. Oh, I think wrong one has come up. Yes, combo pooled data source. Fine. That's good. No, actually, if you want to get the history of the clipboard content, Windows V option is there. then it will give list of copied content, because if you just use control V means what? Recent copy content will come. Windows V, you use Windows V, then this one you want to copy, this one you want to copy, this one you want to copy, because list out copy content, right? Fine, okay, no problem. They are Windows basics, don't worry. Right click, run as Java. XYZ. Where is this combo pooled data source? What is there, guys? Combo pooled data source. Yes, guys. This is the one way. No, sir, I don't want to activate, but it should work. I don't want to activate, it should work. Okay. I don't want to activate, it should work. If you don't want to activate, it should work means Ikari CP, right? No, I want to work with the non-algorithm data source, but I don't want to activate here. So no option. You have to place @bean method. You have to create data source manually by using what? @bean. Seriously, sir. Yeah, check it out. Go to main class. Okay, fine. Here, what I'm going to do. Public data source. Are all data sources directly, indirectly implement data source interface na boss? Create C3P0DS. Create C3P0DS. Tell me. Combo pooled. CDS is equal to new combo pooled data source. CDS dot, what is there? Set driver class name. What class? Yeah, you can hard code or you can collect from where? Properties. Yeah, now you know that all property file content will be stored into environment object. Yes. Okay, environment object is also Spring Bean. I can inject to other Spring Beans now, my dear. Come on. Yeah, private environment. EN. Here is what? @auto. env dot get property. Spring dot. What is there, guys? JDBC dot. Array, I forgot the key, Babu. What's the key? Not this. Spring dot data source dot driver class. Spring dot, what is there? Data source dot driver class. What's happening? Yeah, nothing is there. Actually, this whole process create the exception, guys. Exception. Yeah, this spell mistake you have to correct. CDS dot, come on. Set URL, JDBC URL. JDBC URL. Here, what is their URL? Next, set username, guys. What is their user? Yeah, next. CDS dot set pass. Written CDS or not? Here is what? @bean. What is there, guys? At the rate bean. Driver class name, URL, username, password. Spring dot data source dot. Yeah, here nothing you mention, guys. And when you don't mention anything, actually Ikari CP should come, right? But whenever you keep at the rate bean method, that will override algorithm also. That will override algorithm also. Okay, first let me check. Right click, tell me, run as Java application. X, Y, Z. What is the one it is working, guys? Combo pulled data source. Actually, as per our calculation, what should come? Hikari CP. So that means once you place at the rate bean method having data source, that will dominate what? Algorithms data source also. Algorithms data source also. What is the guarantee, sir? Wait a minute. Now I comment this, guys. I go to this, I comment this. Now tell me, in this situation, which data source works, guys? I think you got a clarity, guys. Come on. Run as Java application. Here is what? X, Y, Z. Now tell me, guys, it's working with Ikari data source or not? So that means we are able to play with them or not there. In all permutations and combination, we are able to play with the data sources or not there. See, guys, here, what is there? To enable Tomcat CP data source in Spring Boot application. First step, exclude Ikari CP jar. Done. Next step, add Tomcat CP jar and run the application. To enable DBCP2, Tomcat CP is excluded always. Okay. Next, you are also adding what? Commented what? Tomcat CP and Hikari CP, and added what? Apache DBCP2. That's good. To enable Arkil UCP data source, guys. Arkil UCP data source. Tell me now. Tell me now what's happening, guys. We have added, we have excluded what, my dear? Come on. We have excluded Ikari CP. Next. That's it. We have simply excluded what? Hikari CP, guys. We have simply excluded what? Hikari CP. That's the end of the story. Yeah, next what? Add Arkil UCP jar file to what? Class path using pom.xml. Okay, that's good. You have added. If you place all four data source related dependencies at a time in Spring Boot application, then what happened? As per algorithm, Hikari CP data source will work. Yes, my dear. Yeah, same algorithm in 1.x is given little different. First priority to Tomcat CP, second Hikari CP, third Apache DBCP2, fourth Apache DBCP, no Arkil UCP, no Arkil UCP. Industry standard data source having JDBC connection pool is what? Hikari data source because of its performance. JDBC API cannot be used to interact with what? NoSQL database software. It is purely to interact with what? SQL. NoSQL means what, guys? MongoDB, Cassandra, Neo4j, they are what? NoSQL data, no SQL, no SQL. But JDBC, Spring Data, JPA, whatever I am talking, all these are with respect to what? SQL database software. They cannot be used to interact with what? No SQL database software. Are you getting my point there, guys? How does at the rate enable auto configuration annotation of Spring Boot application knows? Acha, 1 minute. We'll come to that later. We'll come to that later. How to get all bean IDs? I already discussed it, na? CTX dot get bean definition names. and I'm printing all bean IDs here. I'm printing all the bean IDs here. Spring 3.x algorithm. This is the algorithm. That's fine. How to break above algorithm, and how can we use certain data source directly without following what? Above algorithm. Then what should I do? Spring dot data source dot type. This is there for a Tomcat CP. Spring dot data source dot type. This is for what? Oracle UCP. Are you getting my point there? Just now we worked with this one or not there. Spring dot data source type. Though it is not part of algorithm, you can mention it or not there. Okay, whenever you want to work with C combo pool data source, you should add its relevant jar file here or not there. How can we make Spring Boot application working with what? Other than data source algorithm, data sources or connection pool. How can we use C3P0, Proxul, Vibur, etc. connection pools in what? Spring Boot application. Both questions answer is same. Option number one, add the jar file. Come on. Option number, step number two, configure that one by hard coding driver details or by collecting driver details from properties file, or by collecting driver details from what? Properties file. This is a lengthy one, lengthy possibility, right? Answer number two, you just mentioned that data source class name. You just mentioned that data source class name in spring dot data source dot type. That is over. Spring dot data source dot type, that work with that data source is automatically activated or not there. Say something, my dear. The data source is automatically activated or not there, guys? Is it not interesting, my dear? Come on, I want reply, guys. Everyone convinced with me or not there, guys? All the things I have shown, my dear. When Spring Boot starter JDBC added to class path, what is the default data source we get? Ikari date. If at the rate bean method of main class is giving non-data source algorithm data source object, then the Spring Boot application takes which data source object? Array, algorithm is there or not there, at the rate bean data source always dominates, right? At the rate bean method generated data source object will override or dominate what? Data source algorithm data source. Okay? Or spring dot data source dot type property data source. If both are there, at the rate bean get the higher priority or not there. If both are there, at the rate bean get the higher priority or not there. Let me confirm that. Let me confirm that. Here at the rate bean is pointing to C3P0 na boss? Yes. Here at the rate bean is pointing to C3P0. That's good. Tell me. At the rate bean is pointing to C3P0. At the rate bean is simply pointing toward C3P0. That's good, great. Tell me. This one I'm pointing to Oracle UCP. Oracle UCP from this side. At the rate bean is pointing to C3P0. Which will be dominated, guys? C3P0. Blindly remember, when it comes to data source, at the rate bean dominates everyone. Yeah, what is the one it is working, guys? Combo pooled data source. What data source, guys? Combo pooled data source. That's great. Which is industry standard data source to use in what? Real projects. Hikari CP as of now, because of its what? Because of its what? Performance, okay, and portability, because the jar can be moved to any project, any machine, right? Yeah. How to specify minimum pool size, maximum pool size, and the additional properties while working with what? Hikari CP connection pool. Or if it is Hikari CP, related to Hikari CP, some properties are there or not there? Hikari dot maximum pool size 100, minimum idle 10, minimum connection objects 10, keep alive time. If used or not used, okay, for after every 1 lakh or 10,000 millisecond, the connection object will be destroyed. The connection object will be destroyed automatically. Everyone getting my point there or not there? The connection object will be destroyed automatically. Is it not interesting, my dear? Come on, everyone. Maximum pool size, minimum idle 10, keep alive time what? This. Like this, we are getting the message over there or not there? Okay, now let me show them. Yeah. Spring dot, data source dot, Hikari dot, max pool size, 1000. It can grow up to 1000 connection objects maximum. Spring dot, what is there? Data source dot, Hikari dot, Hikari dot, I think spell mistake. Hikari dot, tell me. Minimum idle. What idle, guys? Minimum idle 10. If used or not used, minimum 10 connection objects should be there. Spring dot, data source dot, Hikari dot. What dot, guys? Hikari dot. Keep alive time. Okay, 10,000. Something you have to worry about or not there? Right click, tell me. Run as Java application. X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z. Combo pulled data source is working or not? Why? So that means it's useless because we have kept that. So now, first of all, what should I do? I have to comment this at the rate bit. Then only Hikari CP works now, guys. Then only those Hikari CP related min pool size, max pool size will be used or not there, guys. Right click, run as Java application. Right click, run as Java application. X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z. Tell me here what is there in this. Tell me here what is there in this, guys. X, Y, Z. Pulled data source. Hey, Hurricane UCP. Oh, understood. Understood. Mistake is mine. Here still type is in active mode. Okay, when type is not there in active mode, then only Hikari CP comes into picture. Right click, guys. Come on. Run as Java application. X, Y, Z. No employee is found, but that is not the case. Hikari data source is the one that is working or not? Hikari data source is the one that is working or not there? Fine. We can find this kind of specific data source type properties for Hikari CP, Tomcat CP, Apache DB CP, and Oracle UCP. These are various properties. These are predefined keys, guys. How I am getting from what? Hikari CP. Similarly, I am giving for other one. Similarly, I am giving them from what? Other one. Okay. They're predefined keys. How to collect them, sir? you can collect from ChatGPT. Okay, Spring Date, Springboard, data source, common properties related to Apache DBCP. We are getting them now, boss. DBCP Max, DBCP2 Min Ideal, DBCP2 Max Ideal. We are getting or not? There is an exclusive website also, guys. Go to google.com. Don't mug up anything. If you mug up, you will feel very heavy. Yeah. Spring Boot, Spring Boot common properties. There's a website, official website. Here, category wise, you can get it. Cache properties, cache related properties, data properties, data related properties. Okay, you want to search for certain property, you can search for it. Spring dot data source dot Spring dot data source dot type or Hikari CP. Is there a lot of jars are there? You can get from any place. And that website URL only I kept here. Or use AI tool. Either URL or use what? AI tool. Any AI tool is fine. Okay. Now I'm coming to one actual nice discussion. I don't want to see certain class not participating in what? Auto configuration. Though I add jar file, I want to tell to a Spring Boot, hey Spring Boot, don't use this class in auto configuration. Right? But before that, I must explain one important concept. How does it knows? Though there are so many jars, in these so many jars, so many classes. But out of that, it is just picking up 5, 10, 15 classes and making them as Spring Bean through auto configuration, na boss? How does it know? How does it notices? Out of these many classes, only these classes only I have to make them as Spring Beans. Somewhere some input it is collecting or not, guys? Okay, that is what I am going to address now. See the question? How does the enable auto configuration annotation of Spring Boot application knows which classes of currently added jar file should be configured as what? Spring Beans through auto configuration. Through should be configured as Spring Beans through auto configuration. Are you getting my point there, guys? How does it knows? That's a big $1 billion question or not there, guys? How does it knows? How does it identifies? Are you getting my point there? Yeah. Listen, first, forget about this answer. First, the IOC container searches for a file called spring.factories in all the jar files that are added. Somehow it finds in meta-nf folder of spring-boot-auto configure jar file. Somehow that file is linked with another file called auto configuration.imports. What is there? In that file, lot of configuration classes will be there. In that configuration classes, lot of nested configuration classes will be there, having lot of @bean methods. What methods? All these @bean methods will be executed automatically. Whatever jars that are available, according to jars that are available, these @bean methods will be executed. These bean method returned objects will become Spring Bean through auto configuration. Once again, look at it. IOC container search for spring.factories. Somehow finds in what? Spring-boot-auto configure jar file. That file is linked with another file called imports file. auto configuration dot imports file. In that file, so many configuration class names will be there. Based on the starter we added, it will go to appropriate auto configuration class. That class is having lot of @bean method and nested configuration classes. Okay, @bean method of main configuration classes and nested configuration classes all will be executed. Whatever objects they are returned, those objects automatically becomes Spring Bean or not there. Sir, it looking nice from your mouth, but show me practicals. Okay, mark my word. The person who is having 10 years experience in Spring Boot also, you don't know this internal. Because he says, why should I bother when it is giving? But my question is, we're adding so many jars, so many starters, in that one, so many classes. But how does it is picking up few classes for auto configuration? So that made me to do this analysis. That made me to do this analysis, right? And this helps me to stop certain classes not participating in auto configuration. And when you know which classes are participating in auto configuration, we can stop them not participating in auto configuration in one or other way or not there. Actually, my curiosity of learning not started like this. One day I thought, I'm adding one starter, 10 classes are becoming Spring Bean, but actually I'm using only 2 classes. Why should I waste memory for remaining 8 classes? Let's find out how to exclude some classes from auto configuration. That curiosity made me to know about how classes are becoming as Spring Bean through auto configuration. Once I got that knowledge, how to exclude those classes from auto configuration is easy solution. So think differently. Don't think what I am telling, what faculty telling, what books are telling. Think something reversely. Then that makes you to explore subject in multiple angles. There's a term called critical thinking. What is there? Don't accept the news as a news. Try to understand background reasons of that news. Got it now, boss? Then you will become great logical thinking person. If you accept news as news, you will follow like other fellows. You will be one of the sheep in the bunch of sheeps. You want to be different? Okay, you have to do critical thinking. Yes? Okay. What is critical thinking means? That starts everywhere. Suppose one news is flashing. Some country is attacking some country. Generally, most of the news are sponsored by Western countries. They say X country is bad means we all think that X country is bad. If they say Y country is bad means we think oh, Y country is bad. We don't even apply our common sense, right? Tomorrow same country says India bad means then we realize, oh, that country is bad. That's why it is blaming India. But when it is blaming other countries, we also go by flow. I will tell. Everyone blamed North Korea, right? Because it is having what? Nuclear weapons. Yes or no? It's bad. Kim is that guy, this guy. We are also merged our voice with other countries. Bad. We are also having nuclear weapons. When we have done nuclear testing, come on. We appreciated our leaders, great country. We are also become nuclear power. Similarly, that country fellow also become keeping his nuclear weapons ready. That's simple now, boss. Neighbor countries also keeping their nuclear weapons ready. What is there in that? Western media said that country is bad. We also followed that bad. What's bad in that? Every country want to have nuclear power. Whether they will be used or not, that is secondary. But what's wrong in that? When India is having nuclear weapons, that country also wants to have. America also already having, right? Fine. So critical thinking is very important to become great programmer. Don't read the news lines. Try to read between the lines. When you read between the lines, the reason behind that broadcasting you will understand. You observe um, in certain season in newspapers about fruits, about medicine, they populate like anything. It's a sponsored news because they say this is good and that spread. What happens? All people will start purchasing it. It's a sponsored news. We just simply follow it. So try to always read between the lines, then you will understand reason behind any news item. Fine. Okay. Okay. What simple conclusion is don't follow the rules. Try to know the reason behind the rule. Then you decide whether you want to follow rule or not. If you just follow the rule, you will become good developer. But if you want to become okay critical resource in the company or key resource in the company or you want to grow continuously, critical thinking is quite important. What is important? Critical thinking. Okay, let it be, guys. Let's come back to the subject. Yeah, first of all, what should I prove? Me event dependencies. Spring hyphen boot hyphen auto configures jar. Spring-boot auto configure jar. Spring-boot auto configure jar is there now, guys. There. In that one, meta NF is there now, guys. In that one, Spring is there. No. In this one, in this Spring, in the meta NF, Spring dot factories is there. That is internally linked with what? Auto configuration dot imports. Yes, guys. Fine. Here, so many auto configuration classes are there. That means these are readily available classes, internally configuration classes. Fine. Okay, now for data source related things, we have data source auto configuration. For data source related thing, we have what? Data source auto configuration. It's happening or not there, guys? Okay, that's good. Yeah, this is a data source auto configuration or not there. Okay, this is the configuration class having name auto configuration. Why? The container uses all these classes and it's at the rate bean methods. So that at the rate bean method returned objects will become Spring Beans automatically. Though we are not using at the rate bean methods manually and explicitly, right? Okay. Now I have to open this class. Open this class. See, if it is there in a .java file, F3 source code, F3 to get the source code. But it is not a .java file, it's a normal file. It's a simply normal file, right? Okay, control plus shift plus F. Sorry, control plus shift plus T. Control plus shift plus T. You want to type any class name? Class, type the class. Data source auto configuration. Open it. Yes, my dear. This is one configuration class and that is having lot of nested configuration classes. Check it out. Import, array to link one configuration class with another configuration class. Come on. Ikari dot class is there now, boss. Press F3. F3. Look at this F3. Look at this F3. There is a at the rate bean method. Check it out. At the rate bean method. Okay. Have a look at this. Hikari data source is the return type. Data source is the method name. After bulk injection is happening on these properties, right? Array, this is for bulk injection or not there. And lastly, returning data source object are not there. Similarly, go to another one, Tomcat F3. Okay, there also one @bean method is there. @bean method, data source is the method, return type is data source. After a lot of hangama, it is returning data source object or not. Like this, come on, like this, multiple @bean methods will execute from the configuration classes which are there in what? Auto configuration. And ultimately they have become Spring Beans or not there. At least now you got the idea how the things are happening. Same thing is kept here in the form of answer. The enable auto configuration annotation search for spring.factories in meta-NF folders of all the jar files added to class path, but finds in what? Spring-boot-auto configure-version.jar. This file is internally linked with a configuration.import file or not there. This file contains lot of auto configuration classes. Right now 144 version to version that count changes, right? All these configuration classes, their nested and imported configuration classes related what? @bean methods execute and their objects will become automatic Spring Beans or not there. Super. Okay, there what? Data source auto configuration, JDBC template auto configuration. So many are there now, boss. This data source auto configuration is having what? Some nested configuration classes now, my dear. These nested configuration classes are having @bean methods now, my dear. Come on. So first of all, give me the feeling. These many objects are coming through auto configuration or not, right? So what should I do? What should I do for that, you know? Go to this place, guys. Go to this place. Forget about all this stuff here. Hmm. String, otherwise we'll put directly. System.out.println. Yeah, here what is there? Bean IDs. What is there? Arrays dot toString. CTX dot get bean definition names. CTX dot get bean definition names. CTX dot get bean definition names. Right click, run as Java application. CTX dot get bean definition names. It looks like a single line, guys. You print them, then you will understand. Okay, in that one, our beans also will be there, but our beans are 3, 4, right? Okay, notepad. Yeah, word wrapping is enabled, guys. These many classes have come or not there. In that one, you observe this. Control F. Okay, right now what is going to come? Hikari. Hikari is coming or not there? It's actually coming, but we are not able to see. Hikari is there, and you will get so many. Hikari pooled data source. Related to Hikari, multiple are there, guys. Hikari, Hikari. There are multiple things coming or not there, guys. So at least lot of @bean methods are there. Their classes are executed or not there. Interesting or not, my dear? Fine. So yeah, that's one thing, guys. Okay, same thing I have done for other case. There's a JDBC template auto configuration. Come on. JDBC template that is also having lot of nested classes. In one nested class, there is something called, yeah, JDBC template return type, and it is returning JDBC template class object or not there. Let me confirm JDBC template is there or not there. Yes, JDBC template. See, coming or not there. Okay, look at Hikari data source directly. There are many things related to Hikari now, my dear. Yeah, I think you got the idea. Yeah, what is the answer? IOC container searches for, okay, Spring Dot factories file in all the jars that are added to class path, but finds in Spring-boot-auto configuration jar file, auto configure jar files, meta-inf folder in the name of Spring Dot factories. Having the name of what? Spring Dot factories. That is the file in the meta-inf folder. That file is linked with what? Auto configuration dot imports file. In that file, so many auto configuration class names are there or not? In that file, so many auto configuration class names are there or not there? Yeah, definitely lots of auto configuration class names are there. Are you getting my point there? Okay. So lot of auto configuration class names are there. In those classes, lot of nested configuration classes are there. In main and nested classes, lot of @bean methods are there. Those methods will execute. Method returned objects automatically become Spring Bean through auto configuration or not. It's a very, very important internal. What's the difference between other learners and ours? They just know rules, but we are trying to know reason behind the rules. Everyone knows Spring Boot is known for auto configuration, but you just go and ask them. So many jars we are adding. In those so many jar, lakhs of or thousands of classes are there. How does it is making specific 30 classes, 15 classes as Spring Bean through what? Auto configuration. You ask that question. This, if they know answer, they will tell. If they don't answer, they will scold you. Though he's a senior developer. Why are you bothered about unnecessary thing? Focus on other things. Yes or no, na guys? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. But we learn this not for this reason. If you don't learn also, they will become Spring Bean, right? My question is, in this entire example, I'm using data source. So I don't have problem getting data source through auto configuration. But when you add same starter, we are also getting JDBC template. Come on, guys. Are we using JDBC template in the projects, guys? Are we using JDBC template in the projects, guys? It's a waste of time or not? I want to tell to IOC container, IOC container, as part of auto configuration activity that you are doing, as part of auto configuration activity that you are doing. Come on, guys. Okay, today also rain is there. Huh? Right, as part of what? Auto configuration activity that you are doing. Please exclude all the beans that are related to JDBC template. I don't want. Yes, my dear. See, previously when I printed all the Spring Bean, when I search for JDBC template, it is there or not there, guys? When I search for JDBC template, it is there or not there, guys? There or not there, my dear? Definitely there, no doubt in that, right? Okay, how to tell to IOC container? Please don't include JDBC template related ones. Very simple, guys. At the rate enable auto configuration. At the rate enable auto configuration. Be active. At the rate enable auto configuration. We are, we are not adding separately directly as an annotation. We are adding Spring Boot application annotation inside this at the rate enable auto configuration annotation is there. Everyone is aware of that now, boys? Okay, that's good. Here there is attribute called exclude. What is there, guys? Exclude. Which class you want to exclude? You want to exclude one class name. Two classes means flower bracket. Array as a array. I would like to exclude JDBC template auto config. Here, what you have to mention is not class name. It's a relevant auto configuration class name. Data source auto configuration is making Hikari data source, Tomcat CPA data source as connection pool. What you have to mention is not the class name. It's a configuration. It's auto configuration class name, right? JDBC template, named parameter JDBC template. All these are becoming Spring Beans because of what? JDBC template auto configuration class. What class? JDBC template auto configuration class. Okay, I mentioned it, guys. I mentioned it. Okay. Now you run the application. Right click, guys, run as Java. Fine. Okay. Now copy this content, guys. Copy it. Go to the notepad. Say paste. Pasted. Still many are coming, but you search for JDBC temp. Is coming, guys? That means it got excluded or not there. There is one more way of proving it. Maybe it is not looking so authenticated. Some bins are missing through auto configuration. Let me make it more authenticated way of proving this. Let me make more authenticated way of proving this. Here, not only bin definitions I print, guys, I print count also. System.out.println beans count. CTX dot get bin definition count. I will do with and without. Right click, run as Java application. What's the count? 95. What's the count? 95. That's good. Okay. Now, no more exclude here, guys. Now, no more exclude here. Right click, run as Java application. What's the count? That means some classes are missed from auto configuration or not. Okay, wait. Wait, Babu. Yeah. What is the next, guys? There is something called data source. Not data source. If I miss the data source, you will not get Hikari data source. Injection fails to DAO, so much hangama, right? Data so driver manager, transaction manager, something. Data source transaction manager dot class. Something related to transaction management, I am putting this. Something related to transaction management, I am putting this. Run as Java application. Look at the count. It is still reduced further or not? That means exclude is the big weapon we have or not there. Exclude is the great weapon we are having or not there. Convinced or not, guys? See, auto configuration great, but sometimes people questions me, sir, auto configuration great, but I have a complaint. What is the complaint I have? Some unnecessarily classes are becoming Spring Bean, though I am not using them in the project, right? And for that one, only one solution, exclude them. Try to know their relevant configuration class, nothing but auto configuration class, and try to mention in the exclude option. If anyone comments, auto configuration is giving some beans unnecessarily, though we are not using, don't blame the Spring Boot. It is doing its job. You have to guide the Spring Boot effectively, right? You have to guide the Spring Boot effectively. Hey, Spring Boot, don't make these classes as what? Spring Bean by excluding these classes from auto configuration. Let me check. Yeah. If we add Spring Boot starter JDBC, we get multiple classes as Spring Bean through auto configuration. These many things. If we feel we don't need these Spring Beans as part of auto configuration process, we need to exclude in auto configuration class using exclude attribute. See JDBC template auto configuration class, guys. Come on. That we have excluded or not there. This will exclude JDBC template, named parameter JDBC template classes being participating in what? Auto configuration activity or not there. We can collect auto configuration class names from what? This jar file. From this file we can collect or not there, guys. Are you with me, guys? Come on. In Spring Boot, the module JDBC ORM data JPI are given to locate with what? Database software. Spring Boot interacting with NoSQL are not there. Yeah, Spring Boot auto configuration makes only predefined classes that are available as what? Array, only predefined classes become Spring Beans, guys. In auto configuration, user defined classes cannot be become what? Spring Beans. Okay, that's good. If you place all jar files related to data source algorithm and specify different data source class name using spring.datasource.type property and also placed at the rate bean method having logic to create and return what? Different data source object. Can you tell me which data source object will be taken as what? Final. Array at the rate bean is there means it will dominate anything, right? It will dominate everything. At the rate. So I'm saying what? All the jars are added, type is mentioned, at the rate bean is mentioned. But ultimately at the rate bean one only will be taken or not there. At the rate bean one only will be taken or not there, guys. Super. Here is my Google Drive. I think you got a lot of satisfaction in today's class. You learned something internals, right? You got control on auto configuration. You understood how auto configuration taking place. That's good. Yeah. What's your batch code, guys? Huh? 7. Third one, 17th July, Spring Boot core. Right click, file upload. Where is this? Spring 719 Spring Boot core. Tell me here, where is the session 11, session 1, bulk data? I think session 10 it seems, huh? More on auto configuration. Yes. Here we are dealing with more on auto configuration. Everyone completed mini project? Sure, huh? Can you submit it? Okay. Since you all people are there in Insta, I will create a page in Insta and there I'll ask to upload, because when I say Facebook, too old are people are keeping faces like that. Okay, fine. I'll try to create one Insta page. Hmm? Everyone knows my Insta ID, Java Natras. Okay. I'll create some Insta page and I'll try to share with you people. Now onwards, you can upload your assignments, task related to assignment. But very few people are responding, guys. Online students, are you doing practicals or not doing practicals? Okay, let me take few online questions. Okay, everything is perfect. If you remove JDBC template class file instead of exclude attribute in the attribute, no, we cannot remove classes. You can mention only auto configuration classes. Okay. Is there, sir, is there any way that we can create our own annotation? You can create your own annotation, but you should have your own container to recognize that annotation. Without container, you cannot create your own annotation. I got offer letter of backend of Python. So is it possible to come to next year in Java? It will help, guys. What do you mean by backend of Python? First of all, tell me. See, Pranav, see, if you are a fresher, don't think like a Java engineer. You think like a software engineer. Be ready to work on any domain. You don't have any right to ask for Java job. Maybe if you are good in Java, you may demand for Java job, but there is no guarantee you will get Java job. And moreover, after working 1.5 year, 1 year in Python, I don't think you will think about coming back to Java and doing your career. So before joining only you take a decision, because your 1 year experience will be wasted. But it's not like that Java people cannot come to Python, Python people cannot come to Java. That flexibility should be there. If you are looking for job immediately, okay, you take a call of joining in a Python company, it's not a bad idea. Because you fresher cannot think like a Java engineer. Fresher should think like a software engineer. Your passion on Java is there, then wait for Java job. Okay. REST API do application based JPA, Eureka server, learned your Spring Core, and Spring Boot session helped a lot. Patel Harish, Patel Harsh. Good, but in which batch you attended, Ra? In which batch you attended? That's fine. Okay, guys. Not Pongal. After Dasara. After Pongal only, you will be having WebMVC classes in the evening slot. Okay, I will give. I'm sorry, not Pongal. After Dasara. Pongal is too long. All right. Mostly after Dasara vacation only, you'll be having those session. Now you relax, because for them, Spring Data JPA last class are happening. And yesterday also I missed their session. So it takes time. Okay, you can come happily afterward, Dasara vacation. No, here also it will happen, but those are having time constraint, those people can come. Other people can happily complete everything in this slot itself. Okay, guys, I learned on my own articles YouTube. Okay, thank you. That's good. Fine, guys.